What's good, everybody? It's your boy OG Guac 420 back at it with another episode of Collective Disconnect. And on today's episode, we're gonna be continuing the ongoing half-ass customs I've been doing on this channel. I've only done two, I believe, so far. One of them was the horrible custom pinless Deadpool using the Spider-Man Renew Your Bow body, with the toe joints and the pinless joints and whatnot. And the other was not a full custom, but it was painting my McFarlane Batmobile matte black and adding some electronics to lights and whatnot. So those have been my two customs so far. Both of them have been kind of half-assed. They could have been done way better, but of course they weren't. Based off those two projects, you can tell I am not the best customizer out there in the toy community. But today I decided to do what I think is going to be a rather easy custom compared to those two. It is kind of full repaint, but not actually using paint. I am going to be using some synthetic dye and a pot on my stove to actually dye this figure black. And you can already tell by the title, this is going to be the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man right here. So here we have the single release that I got from Target that came out like a week ago, I believe. And I'm going to be dyeing this bad boy black and then adding some silver accents, of course, to the symbol, the eyes, and the the overall webs of the entire figure, which I know is going to be super freaking tedious. But other than those two things, with silver and dyeing it black, I feel like it's going to be way more easier. You don't have to worry about the actual like joints rubbing off on the knees and the elbows like they did on my custom Deadpool, which I even sanded those bad boys down, but I don't know what it is about the pinless joints, they just don't work. So when I saw this was completely pinless, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to take this apart. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in a pot on my stove for a couple hours and see if I can dye his entire suit black. But yes, hopefully this is a pretty short and simple tutorial video. Like I said, just dyeing and painting the webs. I'm honestly pretty hyped to see how this thing comes out. I know in the actual official Spider-Man 3 Symbiote suit, the emblems are kind of like different, a little bit more sinister on the front and in the back. I probably won't be able to duplicate that, but honestly just having this suit in black is going to be enough. Here's another close-up if you guys can see. I'm not really a big fan of the actual head sculpt. I don't know if I'm going to be using that. I do have the 3-pack Tobey Maguire that came with Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield as well, so I've had that one for a couple months this year. So I went ahead and picked up an extra one of these from Target as well, so I have two of these, one to keep in card and one to turn black. But yeah, enough of me talking, guys. Like I said, hopefully this comes out good and you guys enjoy the video. And without further ado, let's get it cracking. Alrighty, so I hope you guys are ready for some shitty ass commentary voiceover situation going on right now. But here we have a super old pot. Let me make sure you guys know, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be safe to use whatever pot you're using for cooking after, so I recommend either using the super old one or buying one from like Goodwill for cheap. But other than that, yeah, here we have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I removed his hands and its head. And right here we have a Death Trooper that I got from really cheap from Ross. I was initially going to actually test out the dye on this guy first, but I just went ahead and added both of the figures to the actual pot. Like I said, here we have the head. I did find a extra fist hand because I don't know if you guys know, this figure does not come with two fists, even though it was advertised in the promo pics with having two fists, but it didn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint my own pretty shittily. You'll see at the end of the video. But yeah, here's the 3-pack Spider-Man right there as well. He's gonna be watching his doppelganger take the plunge. So right now I have it on, I would say, in between medium and light heat. I know on the instructions it says to add it to boiling water. I don't know, that was just kind of scary for me, so I didn't do that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use like a third of the bottle instantly, but throughout the process I did add multiple extra drips in there, so I probably used like 2/3 of the bottle. Ultimately only had a little bit left after that. But yeah, so right there I'm showing you guys like it's like half or like 1/3 of the bottle. Like I said, there is a heat that I'm showing you guys. It's on level 3. So yeah, I do recommend using a plastic spoon or knife to actually stir the pot and check on the figure. Don't recommend using any actual kitchen utensils you plan on eating with after. I actually wish I bought some tongs just to make it easier to actually get the figure and the accessories out of there. Alright, so here we have the figure with his joints bent. Throughout the duration of this dyeing, I did move the joints multiple times. I ended up adding the actual Dark Trooper in there with Tobey. So for 15 minutes, this was not bad. It was either 15 or 30, but the legs, of course, dyed the fastest because they were blue. But for some reason, that torso piece, the front and back, I guess it was made of different plastics, because that took over 2 hours to actually get completely black. But yeah, not too bad for being in there for about 30 minutes. At the time, I thought this was going to be pretty easy. I could probably dye the entire figure in under an hour and a half, but little did I know that'd be wrong. Right there, I'm adding some more dye. Like I said, I probably added dye like 4 times using 2/3 of the bottle. And here we are at the hour and a half mark, I believe. And here we have the 2 hour and 15 mark when I officially took it out to let it dry for over a day. And if you guys can see, the chest is still a little bit red. I ended up fixing that later on in the video, but yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes total for both the figures. Actually, the Dark Trooper, I took it out probably like 30 minutes before this, since that was already gray plastic. That was super easy to dye, but man, this did take a while. So maybe I should have added some more dye to begin with, or even increasing the heat. Alright, so here we have the figure a whole 24 hours after I took it out of the dye. As you can see, certain parts of the figure did not take well with the dye, especially that torso. There is a slight red tint to it. Under the arms, right there on the biceps, a slight blue tint, and some of the joints as well were still left slightly blue, which under normal conditions, like normal lighting like this right here, it's not that obvious, but throughout the entire painting of all the web lines, that red hue kept pissing me off, so I did end up fixing that myself. Right here is a better look at that red hue, and some blemishes on the face that were covered up as well. Here is a silver I use for the webbings, and well, basically the entire figure. That's the fist I use right there, slightly bigger than the original one, but honestly, it's the best I'm gonna do. The whip hands came out amazing, for sure. All the smaller pieces, basically, including the gun for the Dark Trooper. And right here we have some more. This is some small spots that the dye didn't take to, but I did use some black paint, some more down black paint to actually hit it up. Like I said, there is one of the joints, I believe only like 2 joints were still blue, but the rest came out amazing. Right here we do have some tiny brushes. These are my wife's nail art brushes, so they're super tiny. I could not tell you the exact size I use, but highly recommend that if you guys are gonna individually paint every single web line, the eyes, the emblems, and whatnot. Alright, so here we have the first eye painted. I only did 2 layers on the entire eyes, and they came out pretty great. And here we have the entire head painted, and man, like I said in the beginning, this thing was super tedious. I believe like this took me around 30 minutes just to do the head. The more I painted it, the more easier it got, but towards the end it was a little bit annoying, so I did mess up a little bit towards the boots. But other than that, you do need a steady hand for the most part, but you can clean up all the messed up lines at the end like I did anyway. And right here I am showing you guys the watered down black paint I use to actually make the chest and the back and the arms more black. I did more water than paint for sure, just because I didn't want it to be like more black than the actual limbs were. So at the end, this actually came out really good. So overall, I believe the entire painting of all the web lines and the emblems took around 3 hours to do in 2 separate nights. Like I said, super freaking tedious, but man, the end result was so freaking amazing. I don't regret it at all. I mean, it did take probably over 5 hours total from start to end, but man, I think this is for sure my best custom of all time. Hopefully the rest of my customs going in the future look like this amazing for the end product. But yeah, man, this is what it looks like with all the web lines painted. After this, I did clean it up a little bit, all the obvious spots where I overdid it. But yeah, that is a wrap to this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you guys are going to attempt to make your own custom Tobey Maguire symbiote suit Spider-Man. And let me know who your favorite live action Spider-Man is. Obviously mine is Tobey Maguire. If you say yours is Tom Holland, you can go ahead and unsubscribe to me. But no, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned to the end for some pretty cool photo/video montages of this bad boy in action. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
You have just witnessed another episode of Collect to Disconnect.